Was there ever a time where you thought you wouldn't be alive? Ever felt so numb and dead on the inside where life didn't feel like it had a reason to be alive? And felt like you was a walking tombstone that hasn't got buried yet, or a walking corpse roaming the earth, where every time you walked out of your room, you had to put your mask on and pretend everything was okay and put a fake smile. Maybe you haven't felt like that, but I've been there. And I want to tell you how I overcame that and I went through a situation that changed my life. My 10th grade year during virtual school, I fell into a deep depression where I wanted to commit suicide. I felt so numb and dead on the inside where life had no feel or excitement. Being isolated in my room 24/7 with barely interaction, I started to lose myself as the days went on. My room felt like I was in a chamber of hell burning alive where the bars was keeping me trapped. No matter how hard I screamed or yelled for help, no one can hear me. Feeling like my soul was being stripped away from me. When I would always be alone in my room, it would be times where I would just cry because I would vividly picture me hanging myself and how my mom would find me dead. But there was always a voice in the back of my mind telling me this couldn't be it. This couldn't be how it ends. It has to be more to life. It has to have a feeling. I knew if I was to end it all, it was going to hurt my mom, my siblings, my friends, and my closest sister that I hold dearly in my heart. During this time, I done gave up on everything. School, my dreams, and my goals, and the most important of them all, my ambition and dedication, all went out the window. Since school was out of the picture, I was sleeping in virtual classes and turning in assignments, not caring about it. In my mind, I told myself I didn't want to work a 9 to 5 my whole life. At that time, I was already dead, but I didn't want to be remembered as this kid who had all this potential and ended up hanging himself. Being a wasted potential, I still wanted to be someone that I'm proud of. I done came across David Goggins on social media, and his videos about his life story kept coming up on my social medias. Back then, I used to just be on my phone on social media and do nothing with my life. So I looked into his life story, and he was a Navy SEAL at ultra marathon races, done broke records, broke the pull-up record for 4,030 pull-ups in 17 hours, ran 205 miles in 39 hours, and the only person in the armed forces to go through SEAL training, Armor Ranger School, and the Air Force Tactical Rescuemen, and the only person in the military to go through three Navy SEAL Hell Weeks in 1 year. All of these crazy things he has done, I wanted to know how he was able to do that. At that time, I done gave up on everything and I lost who I was. So his life story inspired me to in his life story, he grew up in a traumatized household, got beat by his dad, had, learning issues, all these crazy things. And he was this scared person, and now to where he got now, doing all these accomplishments, I found inspiration in that, and it really resonated with me because, for me, I kind of related to that. Not necessarily him, but just of, me losing my dad at 13, me finding him dead on the floor, being the little kid out of 7, most of them dropping out of high school, and, me being that last little bit of hope, for my mother. No one did it big. 2 of them graduated high school, and it's still, it wasn't, for me, just seeing that, it really resonated with me, and I wanted to make a change. So his life story really made me change myself during that time where it was very dark and deep for me. Navy SEALs are arguably the baddest people on the planet, and I wasn't that at the time, and I wanted to be that. I wanted to be amongst the crowd at least. I done gave up on everything, so I wanted to feel that accomplishment of I got here. Even though maybe my dreams and aspirations was gone, but I did this, you know? And I wanted to just go the distance to get there and feel that. I didn't want to die by committing suicide. I wanted to die at least. I didn't want to die by committing suicide. I wanted to at least die in an honorable manner, dying as a hero, being a Navy SEAL at war, and saving the lives of my teammates. So I started doing a live autopsy of myself. You know, when you're dead and they crack you open and find out what was the cause of your death. But I had to do one while I was still alive. So I started to realize that I had to find and go to the root cause of my problems. I had to figure out, why was I depressed? Why was I scared of failure? Why I was scared of all these different things. I had to fix them before I can go on the journey. Little by little, I started to see growth when I started fixing all of these problems I had. And one of my 9th grade teachers, English teachers, she was pushing me to get back on my feet. She knew how great of a student I was before COVID, and she was staying up late, helping me with assignments and giving me advice. She wasn't going to let me give up on myself, and she knew the potential that I had. I was just a great of a student. I was more hands-on. You know, virtual just changed all that, and just being isolated, all those different things. So she knew where I came from, and I was telling her about what I was going through, and she was just there consistently, texting me personally, and just was not letting me give up on myself, and I appreciate that now. So I had went hybrid during the end of the school year, and I started getting back on my feet. I did all my assignments and passed all my classes by the skin of my teeth. Everything started falling into place. I finally found the light at the end of the tunnel I thought I would never get out of. I found my dream school, which is the University of Miami. I found my passion in writing poetry. It was an outlet for me to vent to myself. I figured out that I wanted to become a psychiatric nurse and being there for the people that feel alone, feel like no one's there for them, because I went through that. And I experienced that. And I always tell people all the time, you might have people there physically, but there's 24 hours in a day where you're alone in your mind. So I just wanted to do that and be there for those people. I found out that I started doing community events. I found happiness in being the voice for my Hispanic culture, and just doing the 2 Black Lives Matter panel discussions. I came out of those on that, being a top 7 finalist for the Princeton Prize in Race Relations. All these events that I've done, just to name a few. I found out through those things that one good year could change your whole life. And I'm not looking for pity. I'm not looking for someone to feel bad about myself, you know, for my life story. We all go through things, but to find strength in that. I noticed that people either use their life experiences as an excuse of why their life is like this and why they're in a bad situation in life, or you can use that as fuel and motivation to get where you want to go. And that will make us stronger. And we all have, like we like to say at FFI, a bag of piece of your crap, right? And you can use that as your life story. Everyone has a story, but whether you have 10%, 20%, whatever, if a person might, you might go through things, more than me or whatever it is, but it matters. What matters is you can use that, you can do something with that, and it can be valuable. So that's what matters. That's what separates a lot of people. And basically, I just want to motivate people with my life story, and hopefully I can impact others of, no matter how bad you feel, how depressed you feel, how you feel like, I'm alone, you're not alone. People can relate to you. But I just want to impact others of my life story. And there's many things I could talk about, but I feel like this story really changed me. And as it is recently, it's only been like a year and a half. So I just want to impact others, and for those people that feel like, they have no voice, feel like no one is listening to them. So you can be anything you want, and just use that as fuel. As I said.